Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I think lighting is good, music's good. Hello Dev, hello Warrior Maddie, and Jenna. Welcome. So, I don't think this needs any introductions. We've been making this vampire for a few sessions now. I took some time from the last time we saw each other here, and I did some tweaking and some hair sculpting and poly painting on my own channel. You can find the links to it down below. There's like link tree down there with all of my social media, including YouTube. So if you missed that, you can check it out there. But yeah, let's get into it. How's everyone doing? I feel like the scale matches the reference better, and it's also more balanced in terms of like weight on this side versus this side. So that's good. And I got to load this brush. Yes, this is the brush I've been using to do the hair. Reason being, it's got UV set up, so I'll be able to create a cool, like anisotropic reflection material in Marmoset when I render him. Okay. So I'm thinking we should finish this side of hair today and finally give him that chin guard we've been memeing about for a few sessions now. And yeah. Quickly check that it still's got UVs. It does. That's awesome. Also, we need to figure out the situation here. It's just like awkwardly just kind of connects here, the hair with the horns. So I'm thinking I could add like a golden trim around the back as well to make it look more neat. I miss you so much. Looking forward to you coming to this live stream. It's great. Here I am. Hello, hello. Get some tap. Welcome. When are you going to do beard? Yeah, today. Are these custom hair brushes? Yes, I downloaded them. Let me see. From Yuna Minkova. This artist. They have this brush kit plus Marmoset tool bag setup, and I think it's gonna work well for the effect that I want to achieve with the hair. It's just like for me, a nice way to save time. I don't have to worry about it, and I do really like this concept art. so I want to do it justice. Some time rendering it. Marmoset makes it really easy to render ZBrush sculpts, right? Gone are the days of offline rendering. I used to render my sculpts in V-Ray Maya. And I mean, the results were amazing, but man, did it take a long time. I would like wait for 40 minutes to render out one image. It's not working. Maybe we could rotate it. Yeah, that should work. Maybe we turn off the color for now so I don't get confused visually. Okay. Push this in. One thing about this brush is that you need to draw them out on a mesh that already has UVs. So in my case, it's just a cube in the middle that I'm gonna get rid of at the end. But it's got UVs, so every consecutive strand that I'm gonna add is gonna keep the UVs. If I were to drag it out on this dynameshed hair, which obviously doesn't have UVs, it wouldn't work. So you have to keep that in mind. And the artist that sold me the brush, oops, she was kind enough to provide like a video tutorial on it as well, which was really nice. It's the kind of thing that I would do as well if I were to sell any digital products. I'd want to include like a small video, or it can be an image explaining how to use the product that I'm selling. Layla, yesterday was... what? Only for my chatted review. I'm not sure what you're saying. Do these brushes also require the mesh they're drawn on to have UVs as well? Yeah, just like I said. Maybe you asked that before I said it, so yes, they do. Just like with Nanomesh and ZBrush, if you ever had like a object that you wanted to instance with Nanomesh, and you made UVs for it, and then you instanced it across the surface, and then you make it into a mesh, and all of a sudden UVs are gone, you need to follow the same rule. You need to create UVs for the object that you're instancing on. And also there are 2 more steps, but I'm not gonna get into all that right now. But it's one of the requirements for the mesh, the target mesh, to have UVs. Hair is a very time-consuming process, but I enjoy it, weirdly. Nice, the cube method is brilliant. Yeah, it can be anything, it can be like a cylinder. And it's just for the first stroke to like adhere to the surface, then you can get rid of it. I just Haven't gotten around to deleting it. Ah. Sometimes I mispress stuff. Also thinking about the flow. And that's why hair process is so time consuming, because you'll do something to try it out, like put down a strand and spend like 5 minutes refining it. Then you do a couple more, and then the first one no longer fits and you have to get rid of it and redo it. It's, yeah, it's a lot, but the result usually pays off. Like the hard work pays off with a good result. Okay, this is fine. Need to do a couple more here. We can hide his body for the time being. Enjoy the horror show that this is. Cube with floating eyeballs and eyelashes. Should I just call it done? Post it like this? Right, let me turn on the colors. Ooh. Okay. Okay, let's grab this one. I like to switch between different brushes here. They all kind of give similar but different effects at the same time as well. So, trick if you haven't been using rotation with your IMM curve brushes, what are you doing? It's such a cool little thing. You can grab your brush at the start of it, where the green little circle is, and now hold down, click on it and hold down Control. And this way you can rotate the entirety of the curve. If you don't want to rotate the whole curve, let's say I want to control from this point to the end, you can do it too. You know? But in my case, I just want to control the whole thing. And I also want to make it thinner down here. So we can go to stroke. Always forget which one it is. Curve modifiers. And make it slightly bit thinner. I said thinner. Oh boy. Thinner towards the bottom. Good morning. Hey Gazi, welcome. Hello, this looks amazing. Thank you so much. Slowly tackling the hair. But it's almost done. I'd say it's like 80% there. Maybe 70. Maybe I'm just being overly optimistic, because I want to be done with it. How's the music? Let's check. Can't hear any music. Oh, it's because the next track is starting. Okay. Okay. Oh, it works for the background music. Hey Angie, welcome. Oh no, did I draw it out on the... Yeah, well, mistakes were made. It is what it is. Okay, we'll just redo it. We can keep it as a reference, but because we drew it out on the mesh without UVs, it's not gonna have any UVs, so it's unusable now. Which is unfortunate, but like it's usable, but I would have to redo the UVs for it specifically, and I don't want to do that. So that's fine. I woke up early enough for your new time for once. What time is it there now? Oh, I really like this flow of the curve. I'm gonna make it slightly bit thicker now. Okay, this will work. The hair is looking amazing. What hairbrush is that? Yeah, so I just showed it. Oop. So it's by Yuna Minkova. I bought this because I think this effect will work very nicely when I render him out of Marmoset. So it's like a Marmoset ZBrush combo. So far, so good. I'm really enjoying the product. Not sponsored. The kind of thing that I like to do is like when I see a new product somewhere that I'm excited to try, I'm like, ooh, kind of thing can I do with it? Kind of like kind of thing can I tackle? In this case, it's just this anisotropic shader in Marmoset. I haven't used it as much. Or like I haven't done a lot of work with that in Marmoset. So it'll be a good way to practice for me. Plus this concept is just perfect for it. Of how much luscious hair this guy's got. Here it's 11:20 AM in Mumbai. Cool. Just coming up to 6:50 in the morning. Whoa, early. And it's almost the end of the day for me. Friday, 5:52 PM. Kind of looks like an onion or garlic. Maybe this vampire is fond of it. Okay, let's rotate it. And then the rest can be done manually. I try to do as much as I can with the curved brush, but then some things you just can't get perfectly right where you want it. So I'll just mask them and I'll do it manually, which is fine. Oh nice, I'll check that out. I'm always on the lookout for new hair brushes for ZBrush. Yeah, it's like an addiction, right? You know how if there are any D&D people in the chat, let us know. But I know that D&D, like people who love playing D&D, have this thing for dice. Having drawers full of them, specifically. So I feel like I'm like that with hairbrushes for ZBrush. But yeah, on topic, is anyone here a D&D fan or Baldur's Gate fan? I know those two aren't interchangeable, but there is a big overlap, let's say, in the statistics. Can you show me how to flatten a squared surface like the cap part? Cap part? Flatten? Squared surface. Cap. This cap part? Or flatten a square surface. Okay. I hope I understand it correctly. So let's dynamesh this. Let's say you sculpted something on it, right? So there are two ways of flattening it out. The fastest one is just hit W and now hold down Control and drag this green rectangle down and we'll start flattening it out. And it works from every angle. That's one way. I will keep the same topology as well. The other way is just to use slice or knife, but this will change the topology. You can also use clip, curve. This will keep the topology, so similar to this method. The other way, if it's not like a simple geometry like this one, you can go to BTD to trim dynamic, and you can like trim it off. Obviously I'm being very like rough right now. I'm doing it with a mouse for demonstration purposes only. Is that the kind of thing you were asking about? There are more ways as well. Then you can go over it with H polish. Go, flattened. Let's go back to the hair. But yeah, if you could clarify what you meant by that, and if that was helpful. How do you do details in ZBrush? Do you pose the character, pose it, and then make the details, or make everything and pose in the end? So usually, yes, so you make the character in something that is known as A pose or T pose. And then you add, well, you retopologize it then, after that, in the animation pipeline. So you would like either start from a sphere and then sculpt out the entire body like a clay figurine, then you need to take it to another software or keep inside ZBrush. There are ways to retopologize it, which is a process of adding proper topology, proper wireframe for animation. After that, you bring it back into ZBrush, reproject the details, and then you can add finer details like pores, wrinkles, folds, distress, damage to the metal, you name it. And after that, you can bake out displacement maps. That's what we do in the animation pipeline. Or if it's for games, then it's a whole other story, which I'm not gonna get into. But basically, you add details first, and then you take it out of ZBrush and you rig it. Or there's a way to rig it in ZBrush as well with Z-spheres if you want to. Or you can use Transpose Master or Character Creator 4, which is my software of choice for posing characters nowadays. I really enjoy it. But yeah, details first and then posing, not the other way around. Although you could add details on top of your pose, it's not recommended because then you have lost all the symmetry, so you won't be able to sculpt on one side and get the same details on the other, so you'll have to do double the amount of work, which is not nice. It's a complex question, really. Depends on what you need it for. Sometimes I know sculptors for miniatures or figurines, they can skip the whole A pose, T pose part and get straight into the pose of the character, and then they'll add details there. I don't play D&D, but I do play Warhammer and totally get the dice thing. Yeah. Or any tabletop, I guess, that involves dice would work. Yes, that's right. That's exactly what I wanted to ask. Does it apply when using a mask on it? What do you mean? If there was a mask and you tried to do this, no, it wouldn't work. You'd have to do it like this without the mask. Hi Layla, can I ask you a question please? For animation, the eyelids must remain a separate subtool from the head? Hey Sheep Raider, no. Unless it's like a puppet kind of model. Sometimes like stop motion-y style will have separate eyelids from the body, but it's a very rare case that I haven't seen a lot of. Most of the eyelids would be similar to this, but usually this part, the inner like eyeball area. Let me mask it out. This area would be deeper. Just because it's not for animation pipeline, I'm just sculpting it for fun. So I didn't do it this way, but they would be deeper and bigger. Like that much bigger, maybe even more. I'm just not gonna do that. It's so... how would I explain it? Sometimes I've seen that area wrap around the eyeball area. Oop. How about we see this? How about we save? Because I love to blab for a whole hour without saving and then lose all of my work. So, yeah, usually they are together. The only things that are usually detached are eyelashes and the eyeballs themselves. And eyebrows can be separate as well, although they can be baked in for game ready meshes. Anyway, yeah, they're usually together. And if I were to paint over it, thank you. Yes, I forgot about my tea. I'm gonna drink it. So if I were to paint over it, this would be the rough topology that I would do if I were to bring it into Maya, where I usually retopologize all of my models. So be something like this. So polygons would flow like this. And there are, if you ever googled or ever worked in the animation or game studio or anything like that, you must have googled like proper facial deformation topology, and they're usually the same for games and animation. So there would be this kind of shell, or like this kind of loop going around the eye. Then there would be a mask going around both of the eyes and the nose bridge. And then there would be like stars here and there, but you try to avoid them as much as possible. And it will flow this way. This is not perfect. I'm just, you know, roughly blocking out everything. And then there would be another loop going around the mouth. But that's a whole other story. So no, these are connected with the face of the character. Yeah, unless it's like one of those creepy dolls like Annabelle, the horror movie, and they'll have like an insert eyelids. I don't really see why you would have them separate from the head. Rigging in ZBrush using Z-spheres. Yeah, I mean, that's one way to do it. That's not the way I do it, but nothing is impossible. It's not my preferred method because I have character creator, I invested in it, and it's got an amazing bridge between ZBrush and character creator, so it's just not for me, but it's possible. Thanks for showing. Oh, good. Hello, Layla and chat. Hello, Vaka Loka. Welcome. Thank you so much. Oh, good. If you have any more questions, fire away. That's like the whole point of me being here. It's not just sculpting, it's, you know, answering you guys' questions about ZBrush, about pipeline. I know a thing or two. I've been working in the industry for around 8 years, I want to say. And I still have lots to learn, but I do know a few tricks. Make it a thin one. Scale up a bit. Gotta drink my tea. Had a bit of an upset stomach today, so drinking some ginger tea. I'm happy that I was able to make it to the stream though, because I really didn't feel well and was thinking of cancelling, but then decided to persevere because I really wanted to talk to you guys. These sort of streams are definitely a highlight of the week. Last day on Friday, so I'm in a better mood usually. We all are. Who doesn't love the weekend? Is anyone working on anything exciting? Sculpting along? Maybe a character or a prop? Hope you feel better. Those are never fun. Yeah, I'm gonna feel better after drinking this tea and chatting to you guys. Thank you. Do you work with dynamic subdivs? Yeah, as we speak actually. This hair is dynamically subdivided. That's actually pretty low poly. Might be too low poly here, but I'll let future Layla deal with that. Yeah, so you can shift between it by hitting Shift D to go out of dynamic subdiv mode and D to subdivide it. Oh, go into subdiv mode. Hotkeys are my everything. Sculpting along, trying to figure out how to sculpt scales on the character I shared on your Discord. Oh yeah, the guy with a big eye and cool tail and stuff. Sorry I haven't gotten around to giving you feedback. It was on to-do list. It's been a few weeks. Few intense weeks. This one, right? Yeah, cool guy. Where are you putting the scales? On his back? You could consider doing those with VDM brushes or IMM brushes, depending on which one you prefer. VDM would like blend nicely with the rest of the sculpt, whereas IMM would add an extra geometry that would sit on top. Then would have to sculpt around it to blend it in. So both approaches would work. And for anyone who hasn't joined the 3D rabbit hole yet, you're free to do so. We have very nice community here. We usually hang out every other week that I'm not streaming on Maxon's channel, but I skipped the previous one because life got a bit too hard and I couldn't do it, but I missed those, and I think we're gonna do one next week where we just basically do the same thing I'm doing here, but we get to chat with, like, you know, voices so I can hear y'all. The one-eyed creature in the feedback channel. Yeah, I remember. Hey Layla, which is the hardest character you sculpted till now? Ever? Sculpt. Hardest. That's a good question, but... oof. Let me look at my portfolio. I don't know. Each one of the characters I've sculpted had something difficult about them. And the ones that aren't in my portfolio, I unfortunately cannot show because they're under NDA, but they were also pretty difficult. Not to go on a tangent, but whenever I pick a new portfolio piece that I want to work on, I pick it with a challenge in mind. So when I see a concept that I like, I analyze it, and I usually like it because there's a piece that I want to improve in, like a piece of it, like maybe it's a hammered metal or a very complicated rope wrapped around a sword or something, you know, something that I haven't sculpted as much of. So each project usually is difficult in some way, shape, or form because I make it difficult for myself because I want to improve. And that's something I would recommend to anyone, so you don't get stuck in this comfort zone. I myself am guilty. I sculpt a lot of cute girls and cute little creatures. So from time to time I need to break this cycle and sculpt something not cute or not a girl, like a vampire, you know? I've made 2 new characters. I'll share on Discord live feedback, see if there's still anything I can improve. That's great. Yeah, post it in feedback channel. It's exactly that. Scales will be on arms and legs and upper back. Ooh. There's a link to the community. I would like to join the Discord. Oh, I just found the link. I joined. Awesome. Yeah, all the links are down below to my skill tree. Not skill tree. Gamer brain. Link tree. That's the one. Someone has been playing too much Clear Obscure the past couple of days. That's the best thing about characters and vegetation. Every other one has its own unique challenges and it never gets boring doing them, right? Nature's crazy. Okay, let's do one more here. And make it bigger. Ooh. Have you guys heard of the game Expedition 33? Claire Obscure? Obscure? It's a new game that just came out in the end of April. How would I describe it? It's like a very good mystery JRPG style, but it's my first JRPG and I freaking love it. Plus the story and voice acting is just so impressive. Probably the best facial animation plus voice acting combo that I've seen to this day in a video game. Let me talk about my new hyperfixation for a few minutes. And even if you don't decide to play it, just give a trailer a watch and maybe watch a playthrough, because the story is very captivating. I don't want to give too much away. The new GOTY contender. What's GOTY? I know that Game of the Year, that's the one. Okay, Game of Rain. Yes, I think it has very good chances of winning it. I know I only played like 10 hours, but very good. Soundtrack, spectacular. It's been playing non-stop, living rent-free in my brain for the past week that I've been playing the game. Okay, that's fine. Let's give another... let's try this one. Might work, might not work. Ooh, pretty thick. Maybe we could try and play around with this a little bit. Game of the Year, haha. Yeah, I got confused because GOT in my brain is engraved as Game of Thrones, so I was like, what is GOTY? But I got it. Hello, Sketchy Squirrel. Welcome. Nice to see familiar faces here. Soundtrack is amazing. I just watched the menu and I was impressed by the music. Haha, it was catchy and cute. Cute? Ah, catchy. Cute? I don't know if I would use cute, but catchy for sure. It's just the weight of the story is so not cute that I can't say that it is cute, but it's definitely very romantic, I guess, because it's got a lot of like French influence in it, even though it's not entirely in French. I have a French-speaking coworker, and I made her listen to the soundtrack just to, you know, explain to you guys how invested I am right now in this game. And I asked her to translate what they're singing about. And she's like, oh, well, only part of it is in French and it's hard to make out the words. So they are keeping it very mysterious indeed. Okay, let's look at it as a whole. Yeah, flowing nicely. We need maybe 2 more here. And then this side is looking good. I want to do a turnaround on Marmoset, so we need to sculpt out that hair. You should try Marvel Rivals, pretty much Overwatch copy but cool characters. Never liked shooter games, and I don't like to play with people or against people. I'm very competitive, but in board games. And usually my personality just changes dramatically when I play board games, so I cannot imagine what would happen if I played something like Overwatch or Marvel Rivals. I've seen a lot of really cool characters from there, for sure. I feel like if I were to play that, it would be just for the characters and the skins, because I have a lot of respect for the artists that made them. But yeah, not my type of game. Change it again. If your curved brush is ever like floating above the surface and you want to kind of sink it more in, you can go to brush, depth, can't see it because my face is blocking it, brush, and you go to depth, and then you decrease the embed value and click again. You'll see that it sits more tightly on the surface. Now you can just adjust it to your heart's content. I haven't played the game yet, but I really love the art style. Realistic, but also feels a bit stylized as well. Definitely one I want to check out. Yeah, it's definitely very pretty. I'd say it's realism, but with stylized proportions of the characters, which I really like. It's a bit of a weird feeling at first, because I'm trying to, you know, make everything look proportionate and realistic because of the textures, and the hair looks so real. But then their heads are maybe like 20% bigger than they usually would need to be, maybe 30% bigger. So they're like, what are they called? Those bobbleheads? The little toys that you see in cars that do this. So that's the feeling that I get, that I got from the start of the game, but then I got used to it. Kind of reminded me of Bioshock Infinite. The proportions. Gamer rage? Me? I don't rage. Only when I'm alone. Nobody hears me. Yeah, I play games solo, unless it's board games. Then I like to play against people. Don't know why, don't ask. Just me being weird. Okay, it's more or less done from the back. Maybe a couple more strands here, then we can do the chin part. I've been streaming for an hour, so that's about right. I'll have to color these as well. Do the same with League of Legends. I always launch the game but just to collect the different skins and characters, but I never play. Oh no. Yeah, the skins are beautiful, even though I've never played League. I have, pretty sure, every single skin saved in my ArtStation. I have lots of different folders for all the projects that I do. I pull references from there, and yes. What's the artist name? Ekaterina Boyarkin? Might be spelling it wrong. Let me find it. Why can't I remember it? Anyway, I have all the skins saved. Yeah. Ekaterina Boyurkina. Boyurkina? Stuff today? Yeah, I have most of her stuff saved, pretty sure. She's just an incredible artist with very strong texturing skills, modeling too, but you look at all of these details and you cannot believe that they are all painted and not sculpted. So this person has such a strong understanding of light and shadow and shapes and perspective, and all, like, the 2D background is so strong that she doesn't need to sculpt stuff. You see what I mean? No sculpting. Since you were editing the curve profile, how do you remove a point on the curve profile once you add it? True. How do you do that? Let's see. Have I ever done this? Ooh. What did I do? Not sure, actually. I've never tried doing it, so... Huh. You can always reset the curve, but that's not what you want to do. Yeah, I'll have to Google that or ask Ian. Because I've never tried doing it. Oh well. Yeah, I can totally see that. Yeah, do you play Mario Party games? No, I don't like Mario. I'm sorry. I love Nintendo games like Zelda. Pokemon is great. I really don't care about Mario, unfortunately. I know it's a cool franchise, but I didn't grow up playing it. VU was not part of my childhood. None of the Nintendo products none of them were part of my childhood, so I think I never got into them. A friend of mine had PSP, but it didn't have any of Zelda or Mario or Pokemon games. I think that's the reason why. But I did get into Zelda later in life. So yeah, maybe there's still a chance. See, maybe I'm just not a social gamer. Because Mario Party and Mario games are very sociable. Maybe I just don't like people. Nah, jokes aside, just never grew up playing them. I do love the stylized realism style that games like to do. I feel like my style naturally leans towards that. Nice. Yeah, me too. Like a semi-realism or semi-stylization. I will hide that with this piece. If you look at the concept, he's got this hair tie that we're missing right now. We'll add it later. VPV, right? Oh, do you mean wow? Thank you. Are you a fan of HR Ginger art genre? I've never heard of HR Ginger's art game genre, art genre. Who are they? Ooh. Creepy. Alien, I see. No, definitely not my style. I can appreciate it. But no, not my stuff. Body horror, anything about body horror, right? Not my stuff. Well, it's not like explicitly body horror, but it's inspired by it. Hi, how are you doing? What time is it at your place? I'm doing good, thank you. Sculpting a vampire. It's end of day, 6:40 p.m. here in New Zealand. You don't like Mario? I know, getting cancelled, right? Again, never played it with any of my friends, so I don't have any warm feelings about it, so that must be why. I do have a Switch, and I have Zelda games there, and Animal Crossing, and Pokemon. Just not Mario. Hey, everyone's has a right to have a hot take, right? My hot take is that Mario games are overrated. They're cool and all, they're iconic, but they're just normal games. And I really shouldn't be saying that. Yeah, Nintendo isn't popular here too. Oh, you see? I remember my first Atari. What's Atari? Imagine playing Gwent and you come across Layla and she just keeps nuking you with magical cards. I am a beast at Gwent, okay? Not to brag or anything. I play Gwent very well. I think the reason why I don't play against people is not because I don't like people. I very much do. It's because there's like a beast inside me that wants to destroy the opponent. Because it gets super competitive. And that's just not the side of me I want to show to the world. Only to select few. So maybe that's part of the reason why I keep on putting off doing some like let's plays on my channel, because I've been wanting to just maybe do a stream or two sculpting something and then a stream or two of playing something and just chatting to you in a more relaxed setting, but then I remember how I get when I play games. A girl or guy that spoke about Atari has played all his life. What's Atari? Supposed to know, right? Oh wow. Is that like one of the first consoles ever? Because it looks like one. Wait, where is the screen? Do you connect it to a screen? I've only been alive for 25 years. I don't know what Atari is. Good to know though. How old is it? Exactly. I have a friend like that. He only plays single player games because when he plays multiplayer games he gets so competitive that his hands start shaking. Oh well. Don't blame us, we just get too excited. Can't control it. You connected to TV. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Oh no, Atari is not from the 90s, it's from the 80s. Wow. What kind of games were released on that? Was Pokemon already a thing? Hey, Chin Guard. Yeah, I know. I was talking about. They developed it in 1972 and it was released in the early 80s. Whoa. I used to play a game called Contra. Atari was the biggest console pre-Nintendo Sega. It faded away after the video game crash of the late 80s though. And history lessons on game industry. Apparently I don't know anything. I should really educate myself. I want to work in this industry. Allies region, fill region. Discourse on Sega and Atari in the chat. I'll let you guys do that. In the meantime, extract. Yeah, that works. Maybe it's actually too thick. So let's set it to something lower. Yep. The new season of Love, Death and Robots is coming out this month. Is it? That's exciting. I think I'm gonna get rid of this piece. And I'm gonna add it later. Oh, mirror, mirror melt. Grab a move brush and set it to AccuCurve and pull it up. Maybe more towards the front. That's more like it. And another one at the bottom. It's not bad. Now let's grab a mech cut brush. A couple of these lines. Turn off AccuCurve. And that was fast. Should have done this block out ages ago. Don't know why I've been putting it off. I guess the shape is a little bit intimidating. How do you improve your strokes? Usually I use my elbow to make a stroke, but having a bit of trouble moving the wrist to make clean strokes. I just cheat with lazy mouse, really. I don't know. I don't know if my strokes are clean. If it's like them standard, I lock everything in and I just do this movement. So I don't move my elbow or wrist. Oh, yeah, it's mostly just fingers. I don't know, whatever feels comfortable, right? Because you need to sit in this position for like hours upon hours in a day. Not easy. Just remembered that moment from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If anyone has ever watched it, great show. There was an episode where Scully and Hitchcock, they're like these two dudes. The jokes didn't age well, but basically they're like punching bags of the show, and they're like very lazy. Their characters are very like archetypical lazy clerks, and in one episode they had this arc that they bet against, or like they made a bet with a very active worker in the precinct that she can't get out of her chair, and it's actually an art of sitting for so many hours in a day. I was watching and I was like, yeah. You have to learn how to not get cramps from sitting. But yeah, jokes aside, stretch. Get up every hour or so. I like to do eye exercises as well, like looking far ahead of me, like beyond my computer screen, for like 10 seconds and then switching to something in front of me, and then again, because my eyes get tired as well. Let's fully polish it. Maybe 2 times. Yeah, the best brushes to use for any hard surface like this are H Polish, Trim Dynamic, Mech Cut, and I guess just Move Brush with IQ Curve for any like pointy bits. It also helps to switch to basic material too, and like without any color. To really see these transitions clearly. There you go. Let's add those 2 spikes on each side. For that, let's save. Okay, no questions in the chat. All good. I'm thinking of doing like a mixed hand paint and PBR style for this guy. So I still want to use that shader I talked about for the hair, but I do like hand painted stuff as well. So maybe a mix of both. Okay. Spikes. Fastest way would be to append a cone, make it red. Scale it on the y-axis and push it somewhere here. Alright, maybe a bit longer. Now bent curve. Oh, bent arc. And you can just pull this one, this green cone, and it will act as a bend deformer. Kinda what we need. Just need to rotate it and scale it a bit. And it needs to be lower. Hand painted will look amazing. Yeah, I mean, I'm no queen when it comes to hand painting. My skills are, they're like pretty mediocre. I do my best, but my understanding of like rendering, 2D rendering, is not that great. So I don't know if I could pull this guy off. Not quickly anyway. But it's something I want to improve, so perhaps. Now I can maybe add a couple of subdivisions here. Delete. Now polish it before we combine it with the spikes. Pretty good. And because I want to keep the history, when I combine down, does it keep the history of the top one? I think the top one. Yes, okay. The reason why it's important is because I want to later down the line make a time lapse of my process of making the vampire. So I need to consider these things. I really don't need this much geometry. Water groups. Here in Weld. Better. Oh no. Oh no. Maybe I do need this much geometry. Oh well. Is what it is. Now we can just, let's duplicate it in case I don't like it. Now we can dynamesh it. Maybe at a higher resolution, like so. Now we can zero mesh it as well. Are you going to print this one? Maybe. Would be cool. Although, I don't see really the point of printing busts only. I like to print like full models. Maybe. My sister just got herself a 3D printer. And a good one at that. So, perhaps if she would be so kind to let me borrow her 3D printer, then I could. Okay, let's leave it as that, and then I'll clean it up later. Just do a clay polish pass, it's fine. Just want to go do clean polish. Is that clay polish, not clean polish? And here, let's select all the white ones made so far. Column of ray, mask it, hide the mask, and let's quickly paint it a little bit. Yeah, so what's left? We'll have to model those bats and all that detail on his jacket and that crown bit. But other than that, it's getting there. I avoid painting generally, they tend to look gnarly without pen pressure. What do you mean? You avoid painting miniatures or like poly painting in ZBrush? FDM or resin printer? Resin printer. My sister is a jewelry designer. She has her own brand and she's been wanting to get a 3D printer for herself for a while. and like a business purchase, but she's got a sister who's a 3D artist. So, I mean, she kind of set herself up for that. And I'm a younger sibling too, so I get away with stuff. There are many types of controls. Okay. Maybe we can give it like a hand-painted feel as well. Just like very quickly by adding some lighter shades on the top and darker shades on the bottom. Okay, it's been 1 hour 37 minutes. Maybe we can do a couple more small things and then I'll be wrapping up the stream in about 20 minutes or so. So if you guys have any questions or requests, maybe you want me to do something on this guy, we can either start doing all the detailing on his clothing or model a bat. Perhaps. Just don't have any references. Let's see. Bats are freaky, aren't they? Resin, I mean. Yeah. Why borrow the printer? Just take it and she will buy another one. Nah. I've outgrown that age where you can get away with that. Unfortunately, I'm an adult now. So can't quite pull off that move. But I can definitely show up with a USB stick and just, you know, 3D print this guy. And bats are cool. That's a thing I've never sculpted actually before. So this would be a good practice. No, I use mouse. I see. You guys have your own thing going on in the chat. Okay. What would be the fastest way to model a bat? Plain? Switch to white. Subdivide it like 4 times. Turn on symmetry. If this bat turns out looking kind of goofy, don't blame me. Pretty sure that's my first bat ever. Okay, and I can see that the head is too big now. Perhaps we need a bigger canvas. Yep, it's better. Analyze region, fill region. Okay. Kind of looks like a bat. It also kind of looks like some sort of insect. Okay, now we can isolate it, delete hidden, go to deformation, polish by groups a couple of times to smooth out the border, go to geometry, ZBrush, set it to something low, not this low, this low. And yeah, we have an outline of the bat, and it doesn't have to be very detailed. If you look at the concept, it's mostly like shadows of bats, so they can be graphical, you know. I'll take it. Now we can subdivide it once and can dynamesh it maybe? Maybe not, we'll see. Anyway. Oof. I'm really trying something weird here. I've never sculpted a creature from a flat plane before. Guess there's first time for everything. So that's gonna be its face. That's a body. Make it pointy. What am I doing? Who knows? A bat and a butterfly. There you go. I can't tolerate the smell of resin printer liquid. It's very strong, right? I used to own 2 3D printers, both resin. No, no, no. That's why I got rid of them, really. You need a very well ventilated space. I keep on saying that every time the 3D printing topic comes up, but I truly believe it, that it looks like a fun hobby to pick up, especially the past like 5 to 10 years. 3D printers have become way more affordable, but it's really a lot of commitment. It's like, no. Wait. There's like this. And then like this. I'm so confused. Okay, doesn't need to make a lot of sense. People who know bad anatomy right now are rolling their eyes. Sorry. I just want to block something out. But all I'm getting is a flat bat slash butterfly looking thing. It's fine. Trust the process, right? Maybe add a bit of a curvature in here. That's fun. Maybe we can do some bendy curvy thing here as well. And reactivate the symmetry as well, because I turned on local symmetry and turned dynamic on. I really need to figure out those antenna things. I think they're like ears that go like that. This potato looking body as well doesn't help. Let's say that's good. And then I'll duplicate it and I'll move it there. I love Batman. Well, yeah, no, I know. So that's why I have a 3D printing guy who does stuff for me usually. He's got a safe setup and he's been doing it for years, so I get it that the hobby itself is fun. But for me, the cons are just, they just outweigh the pros. The infamous 2D perspectives are added again. It's okay, as long as we capture the feeling, it's fine. This bat really got squished. It's okay, it's a problem for future Layla again. Nah. Something like that. Obviously, they'll need a lot more work, but for the time being, they do the job fine. Just to see how much more stuff we need to do. Yeah, I'm already starting to like the hand paint. Even though it's very basic. So I might go down a hand painted route for this one. You've convinced me. That body's a bit thick, I guess. Yeah. All the references that I pulled up, the body's pretty thick, and then I don't know. Again, never sculpted bats. I'll have to find proper reference for it. Off stream. Now it looks like a mixture of a bat and a butterfly. It's not what we want. So I'll have to find references, then stylize it, and yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be the last 5 to 10 minutes, guys. If you have any questions, let me know now. Otherwise, I'll be signing off. Trying to come up with an interesting silhouette from the back as well. When is your next stream? So here will be in 2 weeks' time. But I will also do a stream or like a Discord hangout next week, same time, but in my Discord. Link is down below. That's the plan anyway. And I always post updates on my Instagram before I stream, so you don't miss the stream. I post it 24 hours before, usually, if I don't forget. Whoa, you are talented. Thank you. Although I don't believe in talent. But it's a whole other rant that I'm not ready to go on right now. Although it depends on what you mean by talent. Some people just misuse the word. Some people don't. Is it ZBrush on iPad? I just subbed and liked. Thank you. This is just normal ZBrush. However, I started this guy in my bed on iPad. Then I brought him over to my PC where I'm currently at. But I can always grab my iPad, bring it over here, and there's like a bridge between the two, and I can like send it over without like having to send any files. You just need to have both ZBrushes open and be connected to the same Wi-Fi, and then it kind of like does an airdrop thingy, which is really handy. I think I kind of like this pattern. Proceeds to change it after she says that she likes it. Ah. Yes, that's fine. By the way, I was wondering, do you know what the dynamic toggle for the perspective mode is for? I've been trying to figure out for ages. What is it for? No, I do not have that answer. I think I've used it before, but what was it for? Doesn't seem to be affecting the scale. Huh. Let me try something real quick. No, it doesn't work. Basically, when you add an object to ZBrush that is really big, your perspective freaks out. So until I delete it, you could see my perspective wasn't working. So I was thinking that maybe it has to do something with that. Now it should work. Yes. Yeah. Leave it with me, and I'm just gonna make a note. Dynamic perspective. Never use it, but it would be nice to know. I'm an artist and Gundam builder from USA, Los Angeles. That's awesome. Gundams are fun. Never built one myself, but I do understand the joy of building it because I've painted some Warhammer minis and assembled them. Nice to meet you all. Likewise. Wow, hi, nice work. Thank you, Diego. Maybe it just switches between perspective and orthographic when going in front view, etc. Well, I'm in the front view now and doesn't seem to be doing anything. We can ask Google. Okay, it's just people disputing over using perspective or not, but nothing about dynamic perspective. Weird. Some people say it has something to do with navigation when you zoomed in. That it lets you zoom in and out better, but honestly, I cannot feel any difference whatsoever. So I'll ask the team, Ian and Paul, off stream, but in my, how many years? 6 years of using ZBrush? 7 years? Never had to turn it on or off. It's always on by default, I'm pretty sure. And that's how it's always been for me. Yeah, thanks. I'm just trying to give an answer though. Cool. Do you think it's better to be a generalist rather than a specialist in this age of AI? Oof. This question. I think AI should not be taken that much into account as we do, because of this whole craze with AI, because of the whole craze around it. What's important is just sticking to one thing in the industry, and then like you can requalify later. What I mean by that, it's good to be a generalist at the start of your career, so maybe first year to 3 years you can be generalist and try many different things until you find something that you want to become better at, and you kind of build your portfolio around it. So for me it's like stylized caricature art, but I didn't start out that way. I started out as a generalist, then I qualified to be an effects artist, studied Houdini, was hired to be a Houdini artist, and then requalified to be a modeler, and then into caricature modeling. So everyone's path is going to be different, but I'd say generalists are usually people who are trying out new things at the start of their career, or they just feel comfortable being generalists long term. But I'd say that's not a really good practice if you want to like become a master at something, and be hired and be paid more, because specialists are usually paid more. And in bigger studios, bigger productions, you will most likely occupy a slot that's going to be a specialist slot, not a generalist slot. Smaller studios will tend to hire more generalists, and bigger studios will tend to hire more specialists. So that's kind of how I see it, but it's just something from my perspective of working in the industry. And AI has very little to do with it. I would just not think or take it into account whatsoever. It will have to, at some point, I think, become part of our pipeline. So we'll just have to learn it, to, you know, make our process even faster. But you'll still have to have all the base knowledge of how to do 3D, how to make characters with topology, UVs, bakes, stuff like that. Cool work. Hi. Hey, Pavel. Welcome. We're wrapping up though, but thank you for jumping in anyway. Yeah, anyway, here's our guy. Here's the concept. But yeah, that's my short rant on AI generalists versus specialists. Just pick something that you like doing, or if you're just starting out, it's okay to be generalist. It's fine. Just try different things, see what you like, see what you don't like, and then go from there. I work for a relatively small studio, but so far nobody has been fired in favor of AI. And I can't disclose much because NDA and stuff, but let's say we've worked with very big clients, and none of them want to deal with AI. Like, big clients have absolutely zero interest in using AI in any way, shape, or form, because it's too problematic to deal with the whole political side of things, of usage of AI, and obviously creators' rights and whatnot. So, just food for thought. Is he finished now, Layla? No. No way. I mean, my bats look like dumplings with wings, so no. I'll have to pose him eventually, and he's still pretty raw. I need to add all of these details on his jacket and tilt his eyes downwards, add some asymmetry to the pose. Right now he's very symmetrical, but it's getting there. I'm just not gonna be able to finish it today. Potentially I'll finish him off stream. Now that I'm seeing it, I feel like I would want to make his eyes slightly, like a smidge bit, smidge smaller. Yeah. A bit too big for now. Right now. I'm rambling. I think I'm just tired and I need to wrap up the stream. After looking through all the documentation, it doesn't seem to be an older documentation either. So maybe it's not an older depreciated feature either. Not sure, really. I will get to the bottom of this because I'm now curious. Gonna write Ian a message. If he knows, he should know what dynamic perspective is used for. But it's really like one of those features. I've never used it. Nobody has really ever used it, it seems like. So it must not be integral to your workflow. So out of curiosity, I will dig up the info, but yeah, just for that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the stream, chatting with me. It's been really nice. Yeah, this guy is looking cool, although he still needs some love from me. So I'll keep on sculpting. Not today, probably tomorrow. and I'll finish him off stream, and you will probably see like a final result on my Instagram. Don't know if I'll post him on ArtStation. He might not be ArtStation worthy. I like to finish. I like to post like finished, full-sized characters and post it there. But yeah, we'll see. Much appreciated. All good. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. You can see all of my links down below in the link tree. My ArtStation, Instagram, Telegram, Discord community that I mentioned earlier. And go give the original concept artists some love as well. They are linked down below as well. And yeah, happy sculpting. Have an amazing rest of your week, guys. And I'll see you later.